Hey, are y'all ready for some number sense? In this video, I'm going to go over the UIL number sense test that was from the high school district test from 2019. And this is mental mathematics. All problems are to be solved mentally. Make no calculations with paper and pencil. And problems marked with a star are approximate answers plus or minus 5%. Now, what I will be doing is I will be going over these problems step by step. I'll do the first column, maybe the first 20, and then towards the end of the video, after the first 20, if you hang around to the end, I will give you some bonus problems, some special tricks, and some shortcuts for some of these problems that are kind of unique, and I'll include them in this video for you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start with number 1. For number 1, it's an addition problem, 329 plus 330 plus 2019. What I would do is I would add 29 plus 30, that's 59. 59 plus 19, that would be 78. And then you add your hundreds. 3 plus 3, that's 6, plus the 20, that's 2600. So the answer is 2678. Now you can add them one by one where you add your ones and then your tens and your hundreds. I prefer to do it this way. There's many ways. When I'm going through these problems, I'm doing them the fastest, quickest way that I would think of doing it myself. And you can do it other ways. You might have better ways. And if you have any questions, leave questions in the comments and I'll answer all questions for you. Number 2, 16 times 75. Think of 75 as 3/4 of 100. Okay, so I'm going to take 3/4 of 12. Now this is mental math, so what I'm doing is I'm writing on the margins. You're not allowed to write on the margins. I'm doing this to show you how this works. So I'm going to take 3/4 of 16. 4 goes into 16 4 times. 3 times 4 is 12 times 100. So your answer here would be 1200. So for number 3, you notice that you have 910 here minus 923 there. So that's negative 13. So then take 203 minus the 13. That would be 180. And for number 4, it's a remainder question. When you divide by 9, you can cast out 9s and you can also add the digits. So this 9 right there in the middle, I'm going to throw this one out. And then I'm going to have 3 plus 2 is 5, plus that 3 is 8. So the remainder is 8. Now if I added the 9, I would have had 8 plus 9 is 17. And then you add the 1 plus 7, and that's 8. So the remainder is 8. So the sum of the digits. And that would work well for that one. For number 5, you have 79 divided by 8 minus 31 divided by 8. Since they're both of those being divided by 8, I can factor out that divided by 8. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write 79 minus 31 and then take that answer and divide it by 8. And so 79 minus 31, what is 79 minus 31? That would be 48. What's 48 divided by 8? That would be 6. So for number 5, the answer is 6. Number 6, they want the answer as a proper fraction, and you have 4/7 minus 7/8. I'm going to do a cross product where I multiply 8 times 4, that's 32, and then 7 times 7, that's 49, and then I'm going to subtract because it says minus. What's 32 minus 49? Negative 17. Over my denominator, which would be 7 times 8, which is 56. The next one is number 17, where you're adding a series of numbers, 17, 24, 53, 29, 36, and I don't see a pattern in those numbers. However, you could look for compatible numbers. And so compatible numbers would be like 24 and 36. And also you could have 17 and 53. So if you add 17 and 53, that's going to be 70. And then you have 24 plus 36, that's 60. So you have 60 plus 70, that's 130. 130 plus 29, that's 159. And of course you could add all the ones together and then all the tens and you get the same answer. Number 8, which is larger, 0.59 or 9/14? So 0.59 is 59 over 100, and 9/14, 9 over, and then you do a cross product. You could do 100 times 9, that's 900, and then you could multiply 14 times 59. Think of 60 times, this is 60 minus 1. 60 times 14 is 840, minus 1, minus 14, 840. Regardless, if this was 840, you already know that 900 is larger than 840, so your answer is going to be 9/14. So the answer here should be 9 over 14. Now, there is another way of doing this one, and so the other way is to say, well, I know that 1/14 is half of 1/7. 1/7 would be 14 and 2/7%, so this would be 7 and a fraction. So, as a percent. So if 1/14 is 7 and 1/7, and I've got 9 of those, so multiply 9 times 7 and 1/7, that's going to be 63 and a fraction, right? So 0.63 is larger than 59, so obviously the 9/14 is going to be the larger number. For number 9, what is the multiplicative inverse, that means reciprocal, of 2.9? So 2.9, think of that as being 29 tenths. 29 over 10, that's 2.9. So the reciprocal of that would be 10 over 29. Number 10 is the start problem. This is an approximation. And so you're going to have 29 plus 19 plus 02 plus 23. You can disregard your hundreds. Just add 300. So I'm going to have 3 here, 20 here, 91 here, and 9 there. So 91 plus 9 is 100, and 23. That's 123 hundredths. And I just discarded all the small numbers. It doesn't matter. 12,300 is well within the range, plus or minus 5%. Number 11 is a Roman numeral, and they want the answer, and it's an Arabic numeral. And so CCC, 3 C's, that's 300. So write a 3. XX, that's 20. And then 1 before X is 9, so that's 329. The LCM for 18 and 72, least common multiple. Well, 72 is 18 times 4. 18 goes into 72, so your least common multiple is going to be 72. Okay. Sometimes students will forget LCM or how to do that. Think of the lowest common denominator. If you were adding 1/18 plus 1 over 72, what would be your lowest common denominator? That's the same thing as asking for the least common multiple. That'll be 72. So the least common multiple is going to be a larger number. And if they were asking for the greatest common factor, it would be the smaller number. It would have been 18. And so the greatest common factor is the smallest, and the least common multiple is the largest. A little bit confusing for students, so just keep in mind that's what it is. I hope you're learning number sense as we go through this video, and if you are, hit the like button. I want to see how many likes we can get in this video. And also, if you haven't subscribed already, you should. Subscribe to the number sense. Okay, number 13, 4 2/3 minus 1 1/12. So 2/3, you have to have a common denominator of 12. 2/3 is going to be 8 twelfths. 8 minus 1, that would be 7 over 12. And then 4 minus 1 would be 3. So for number 13, it'd be 3 7/12. Number 14, 62 times 58. Think of a middle number as 60. So what you really have here is you have 60 plus 2 times 60 minus 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3600 minus 4. So 3600 minus 4, I'm going to write 3500, and then 100 minus 4 is 96. So 3596. And that's number sense. Number 15, 10 is what percent of 8? Well, since 10 is larger than 8, it's going to go over 100. That's actually 1 and 2 eighths. 2 eighths is 1/4. 1/4 is 25. 1 and 1/4 is actually 125%. Multiply by 100 to change to percent. Number 16 is a question on prime numbers between 80 and 100. How many prime numbers are less than 100 but greater than 80? So between 80 and 100. If you don't know by now, between 90 and 100, there's only one prime number, and it's 97. And in the 80s, from 80 to 90, 81 is not prime, 83 is prime, 87 is not prime, that's 29 times 3, but 89 is prime. So 83 and 89 are the only two in the 80s, plus one in the 90s. That would give you a total of 3 prime numbers. And that could be time consuming if you have to go through every single one. Okay, so be familiar with the prime numbers. Number 17, 33 and 1/3% of a yard is how many inches? Well, first of all, how many inches are there in 1 yard? 36. 12 inches in a foot, 3 feet in a yard. 12 times 3 is 36. What is 1/3 of 36? 12 inches. It's exactly 1 foot. Okay, we're moving to the top of the second column now. Number 18, what is 3 1/2 plus 6 2/3? We need a common denominator, and that would be 6. 1/2 is 3 over 6, so I'm going to write that down. And 2/3 is 4 over 6. So when you add those together, you have 7 over 6, which is 1 1/6, and then carry a 1. 3 plus 6 is 9, plus the 1 that we carried, that would be 10 1/6. Number 19, 6.5% tax on $20. So you're going to multiply 6.5% times 20, and you can actually double in half. If I double this, this would be 13% of, double this and half that, that'd be 10, which is the same thing as 10% of 13. 10% of 13. So 10% of 13 is $1.30. So I use 2 different techniques here. One shortcut is double and half method, where I double the 6.5 and a half the 10. So it leaves me 13% of 10. And that's the same thing as 10% of 13. Either way, the answer is $1.30, 1.30. Number 20 is a start problem, and this is an approximation. And I'm doing the first 20, and if you hang around to the very end, we will do some bonus problems. Now, 329 is pretty close to 330, so I'm multiplying 330 times 330. Since I already added 1 here, I can pretty much disregard this as an approximation. I'm going to do 330 squared, so I'm going to write 2 zeros, and then 33 squared is 1,089. Do you know how to square 33? Well, first of all, if you have it memorized, it's pretty easy, 1089. If you have not memorized 33 squared, then you're going to use a special shortcut. So a special shortcut for 33 squared would be add 3, subtract 3, so you can get 30 times 36. And then to make up for that, you add 3 squared, which is 9. So instead of writing a 0, you write the 9, and then 3 times 36 is 108. So it'd be 1089. And then your 2 zeros for this problem, because we had a 0 here. We had 330 squared, not 33 squared. So that was for number 20. That's an approximation, and that's 108,900 is well within the range. Just check that. So let's take a look at some of the bonus questions. Number 24 is an interesting problem. Find the simple interest on $1,500 at 4% for 18 months. Well, the interest formula is PRT, so we have to multiply those out. T is the time in years, so I have to divide by 12 here. 18 over 12 is 3/2, or 1.5. So I'm going to multiply 1.5 times the 4%, and that gives me 6%. So what I need to do is I need to do 6% of 1,500. And the percent takes care of these two zeros. And all I have to do is 6 times 15, and that's $90. And that's the answer for this one, $90. Now, if you just write 90 without the 0.00, you will get this wrong, because this is a dollars and cents problem in number sense. The rule is you have to write the 90.00. Okay, so that was for number 24. Number 25 looks like a perfect square trinomial. This is something squared here. This is x, and that's a minus because that's a minus, and 64 is actually 8 squared. So this is actually factors out to x minus 8 squared. What's 25 minus 8? 17. What's 17 squared? 289. That's a cool little shortcut right there for that one. And let's take a look at one more. Let's take a look at number 31, where they're asking for the sum of the coefficients a plus b plus c and the expansion of 2x minus 9 squared. So all you have to do here for the sum of the coefficients is take 2 minus 9 and square it. And that will give you the sum of the coefficients. What is 2 minus 9? Negative 7. What's negative 7 quantity squared? Negative 7 times negative 7, that's just 49. And that was the answer. Remember to hit the like button and leave any questions in the comments section. I'll be answering all your questions. And are you getting notifications whenever I upload new videos? If you're not, you need to hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button. And I do appreciate all you do watching this video all the way to the end. And thanks for supporting the channel. It really helps the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm. And that's going to be it for this one. I will see you in the next video.